was in the 40s.
That's not
In
right.
June.
Wow.
In South Carolina.
Wow, and that's before climate change.
That's before climate change.
See, things are getting different.
It was back when we just first figured out that cigarettes were bad for you.
And sometimes butter is, and sometimes it is.
But you
Sometimes
never know.
eggs are, sometimes they're not.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know how.
Sometimes you're supposed to wear a hat, sometimes you're supposed to take it off. You just
I
never
don't.
know.
Yeah, I can't keep up with it all. Coming to you from the Beer to Whiskey Studios, high atop Barley's Taproom on Washington Street in just wonderful downtown Greenville, South Carolina. I'm Russ Heaps, and this is an episode of Big John and Five. And if you're asking yourselves, what is that? I'm going to tell you. It's when I get my good buddy here, Big John Richards, a certified Cicerone.
Whoa.
To pick out a beer from one of Barley's 72 taps, or their 50 or 60 bottles and cans that they also have, and we sniff it, we sip it, and we get bits about it. John tells us a little bit about the brewery, and sometimes he even gives us some history about brewing. John?
And sometimes I just ramble on about nothing.
And that's true too, but we're going to hope that that's not going to happen now.
Russ usually puts that on the cutting room floor, as it were.
Well, sometimes. Sometimes that's all we got, and so I just run with it.
There's that. So we are drinking our second Dogfish Head beer of the day.
We do 7 or 8 of these, 9. Today we'll probably get in 10 episodes, but go ahead.
Just giving away our secrets again. This is Dogfish Head's barley wine called Old School.
Oh, jeez.
And this is
okay.
the 2012 version of that beer. So we're currently looking at right around 10 years old on this barley wine, which is a wonderful time to hit a barley wine.
That means that they've been storing it back in Barley's aging room for...
Go with 10.
Supply the 2, I don't know, 10 years.
Let's go 10
it looks
years.
like, yeah.
Yes, Barley's has this wonderful aging program and a whole room that is full of vintage beer waiting to be consumed or eagerly anticipating. And this one made its way out, and it's a 10 years old barley wine. There's very, very few beers that can handle 10 years worth of aging. This beer and a handful of others can get into the 12, 15, and even 20-year range. And the kind of general rule that you abide by is the higher the alcohol, the longer you can age the beer. And it's not a perfect rule, but it's a very, very good kind of baseline. And this one's 15% alcohol. Now, at this point in time, it's 15% alcohol and 85 IBUs at birth, and those just don't mean anything anymore. This could be 22, or it could be 13. It's just,
And the IBUs don't mean a whole heck of a lot anyway.
They don't mean much to start with, unless you're a brewer or a chemist.
Yes.
So we're into this thing, and we're going to try this thing out and see what happens, because I expect this to be one of those extraordinarily smooth, bready, caramel, desserty kind of beers with some fermentation and even probably some oxidation flavors. Some of those sherry notes, hopefully none of the wet cardboard or aggressive oxidation notes. But if Barley's has it on draft or in bottle or available, it's probably drinking great, because they're meticulous about that. So I'm expecting something. This is our last beer of the day, so I'm expecting something pretty spectacular.
We still have a couple of bourbons to do. All I'm gonna say is, if it doesn't kill us, it will make us stronger.
Or stranger.
And I don't know how that happens, but text Miss Lily. See, I'm not getting.
That is wonderful, Russ.
I know it's very subtle. I'm not getting those huge alcohol.
No, it's
purple fruit things.
It's butterscotch and toffee. There's something floral. I don't know how there's something floral still in this. There's something that... It's not a beer to whiskey shoot without a phone.
It isn't. You got the phones are always going off.
Nearly live. Man, I stuck my mouth in it yet.
Well, I've had a sip of it. It's outrageously tasty.
That's brilliant. Dogfish Head has now had, and I'm aging some more of it. Dogfish Head has now had 2 of my favorite aged beers ever. 2 of my 5 favorite aged beers ever. Both of them at this 10-year mark. And I'm including this one right this second because it's that good.
Wow. I'm getting so much caramel out of it. Just a big,
Yeah.
it's almost like a bourbon. It's
like,
big bang of caramel.
It's like you took really fresh baked sourdough and spread a layer of caramel.
Yeah. Caramel. I don't know what it is, but caramel. I'm okay with caramel.
Depends on which side of the street you're from. The other one was Dogfish Head's Worldwide Stout, which is one of their big 18%ers that was 10 years deep when I tasted it. And that sits on one of my top of frame list for best beers ever.
Wow, holy cow.
This kind of beer can change your entire concept of what beer can be. Because there's this idea that beer is this sort of highly carbonated, yellow, fizzy, hot weather, I just mowed the lawn thing. And beer goes from that all the way out into parts unknown, including stuff like this, where this is drinking something that belongs with like a duck breast at a cherry reduction, or like a real caprese salad with real buffalo mozzarella and a balsamic reduction. This kind of thing holds up to those big, aggressive, rich flavors better than any other beverage in the world. And this kind of thing can absolutely change your brain, change your mind about what beer can be. And I'm done.
Could you get a little more passionate? Could you actually... I will agree with you that this is a delicious beer. And all I have, it's been 15, 20 seconds since I took my last sip. All I have is caramel.
Oh, this, yeah.
That's what's resonating.
Yeah. It's the burnt sugar. I don't know how many people watching this, any of the 3 or 4 of you have ever made.
Yeah. The half dozen of you scattered over continents
have ever made homemade pudding. When you make homemade pudding, a lot of it gets stuck to the bottom of the pan. It's the fond. And that burnt sugar is what this tastes like. It's so rich and it's so deep. And in a real pudding, you need that because that contributes all those big, rich, full flavors to what is basically just a sweet kind of cream froth or egg froth. An actor, it just goes everywhere.
Well, you're doing a great job because I'm getting a little misty over here. Wow, I can't even. You have reached me. You have reached me. I am suddenly an emotional mess.
I like it.
Oh my gosh, it's like watching the bridges of whatever that was.
I don't know.
The
bridges of the Whisperer.
Yeah, whatever that was.
And the traveling pants of the
traveling pants. Yeah, those things that just make you weep. I'm almost weeping.
Listen, there are a very small 2 or 3 times that a beer has brought me to tears. This is not one of them, but I have gotten misty-eyed drinking a beer before. I'm not too proud to say that. It's true. There's some
you beg a lug.
There's some there's some really, really magical things out there that are waiting for you. It won't resonate with me the same way they would with you, but when you find it, it will change your life.
This is an outrageously good beer.
Yeah. And this is a brilliant food beer where it could go with anything, and especially those big, heavy reduction flavors, the big cream sauces, the big balsamic and cherry and fruit reductions. This would be a great dessert beer.
I drink it with a grilled cheese sandwich.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
This is nice. Anything else?
No, I'm far from spent, but I better let these people go.
We've made fools out of ourselves
before they turn on us.
Yeah. So damn lucky. See you next time.